Hey guys, welcome to another champion spotlight. We now have a new champion coming out. Her name is Neeko, the Curious Chameleon. So, um, as far as I know, she's going to be a mid laner. Now, I'm not sure on that, but she seems to be kind of like a um, skill or skill shot heavy mid laner. But her passive is called Inherent Glamour. And Neeko can disguise herself as to appear as an allied champion, damaging or taking damage from enemy champions or casting either Blooming Burst or Tangle Bobs, which I guess we'll come into later, will break the illusion and increase the cooldown. And now I need to figure out whether you guys have sound on. Hopefully there's going to be sound on. No, we have no sound. Okay, let me fix that real quick. So, there we go. Now you guys will have sound. Alright, let's see that again. Okay, so she can disguise herself as Ezreal. And then, I guess, if she uses her Q, I guess it is, then she drops that illusion. So a Blooming Burst. She propels a seed into a target area, which blooms and damages enemies. If the burst kills an enemy or damages a champion or large monster, it will bloom again up to 2 times. Okay. Actually, I'm not quite sure she is a mid laner. She might be a support. Considering that you want to be able to disguise yourself, you want to be around people. Or else that passive would be very boring to use prior to you joining up team fights in the mid game. So basically this is a poke ability. Yeah, so okay, so it looks to have let me see that again. It looks to have a very what? Okay, so that's one thing I want to highlight real quick. Look at the amount of mana she uses when shooting this one against the Seer. And that hits him 3 times. It chunks him down to half his health. Now obviously we don't know the amount of AP that Neeko has, but that's a lot of poke for literally no mana. So if you're very good at using your Blooming Burst, you're going to be poking your opponent so hard. And whether or not you're going to be playing her as a support or mid laner, that poke in the early game will still be super effective. Okay, so her W, Shapeshifter, so Shape Splitter, sorry. Every third basic attack resonates with spiritual energy, dealing bonus magic damage and briefly increasing Neeko's movement speed. Neeko briefly slips out of sight, that's her active, becoming invisible, gaining movement speed and sending a temporary clone of her current form, sprinting in a chosen direction. Okay, let's see. Yeah, so that's a passive, and that's her clone. So this is her... Oh no, sorry, that was the active. Okay, yeah. So here she's disguised as Karma again. Okay. Yeah, I'm thinking this is going to be interesting. I want to see how this one turns out, because that's obviously going to make her much stronger in trades, especially alongside the Blooming Burst. I'm looking forward to seeing how this one turns out, like what that will help you do. Obviously, if you're going to be looking for picks, that could be very effective. Or even if you're going for ganks, it could be very effective. But I kind of want to see what more she has before I make a decision on what I like about that. So E, that's the Tangle Barbs. Slings a magical spiral in a direction, damaging and briefly rooting champions it passes through. The last champion hit is rooted longer. If it hits at least 2 champions, it grows in size, speed and root duration. Okay, so the last one has the root increased. Because, okay, so you have like what That's like what 1.5 seconds. And that is what like 0.75. And it's not a lot of damage. It's definitely a setup spell. Can be work very effective with Shape Splitter, because this one allows you to set yourself up in a different way in terms of how you can use the ability, because you can position yourself in a different way. That's the word I'm looking for. You can position yourself even better. So pop a blossom. She begins charging herself with spiritual essence. A moment later, she leaps into the air, gains a shield, and slows nearby enemies, releasing energy upon landing to massively damage and stun enemies in an area. When disguised by inherent glamour, enemies won't see Neeko's initial charge up. Okay, that was this one. Okay, interesting. Oh, what? That's a lot of damage. Holy hell. And she gains a shield. That's a massive shield. And that's massive damage. And she even stuns enemies. Holy. Oh man. She could be so broken. What the hell? So let's see some gameplay. Oh, so she's a jungler. That's interesting. Holy hell. That's a very nice way of ganking. Wow, I'm looking forward to seeing her come out live, because this is an amazing way of ganking. So if you can disguise yourself, you can have enemies put in a bad situation, because you can, like here, disguise yourself as an action and then charge up your ult, because remember, when you're disguised by your inherent glamour, enemies won't see your initial charge up. And then you can just go in there and use a lot of card control. So basically, she has everything. Basically, you have damage, you have repositioning and invisibility, a free hit passive, double stuns, and a shield. Like, she's going to have incredibly long cooldowns, low movement speed, and not a lot of health, or else this girl will be broken. Like, with all that she has in her kit, she's going to be so hard to deal with, and she's going to be so hard to balance. Like, she looks fun. She definitely looks fun. She looks like a very good jungler as well. But I think she's going to have a hard time finding her place, because she's probably going to come out underbalanced. Then she's going to be buffed and probably receive like the Zoe treatment, where she's nerfed to the ground because simply you give her too much damage. Especially this one, I think is going to be so interesting, because a large monster, it's going to bloom again up to 2 times against large monsters. Like, already there you have a lot of wave clear. Obviously we need to see the AP ratios, but she has wave clear in this one. She has even more wave clear with the third basic attack dealing bonus magic damage, and then you get movement speed off of that. You have a super good gank with this one. Oh hell, you even have what, like a super good gank with inherent glamour. You have a bloody stun with this one, so rude, and then you have a stun and massive damage and a shield. Like, this girl screams early game fights, all she wants to do, and just fight. Disguise yourself as a jungler to fake a gank in another lane. I'm not quite sure whether she or not she is a jungler, actually, because like that's oh wait, maybe she's a mid laner. Yeah, she might be okay, so I'm thinking she could definitely go into multiple roles thus far, which kind of is her identity. But I think she can go into the mid lane as a poke champion who can then roam around very efficiently. She can be a very efficient early game ganker, or she can even be what like a setup support who can also roam around. Not as efficient as a Pike, but with mobility boots she can go out there. But I think that's about it. That's basically Neeko covered. So I'm looking forward to seeing her on the live realm, and hopefully you guys do too. So thank you guys for watching, and obviously always follow me on social medias like Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, and I'll see you next time.